Thank you, neighbor. Hello, friends. I'm Chris Thompson. I'm going to talk about 3D printing today. And I learned 3D printing at Hive 76. I managed to turn that into a career at NextFab. I'm going to tell you why you don't have a 3D printer in-house quite yet and what needs to happen before you do. First, a bit of history. The first commercial 3D printer was in 1986. Process turned liquid resin into solid objects using light. You see this on Good Morning America. It's mostly been stuck behind patents in industry for a while. That's until 2005 when the RepRap project kicked off, metric as well. This is a self-replicating 3D printer. All the plastic parts you see are printable, and this is where the consumer market really came out of 3D printing. MakerBot came along in 2009. I'm smiling in this picture because my MakerBot's, oh, no, it's broken. MakerBot lost their way when they fired their founder in 2012. Nowadays, they mostly make news. But every engineer who saw a RepRap and a MakerBot said, I could do that, and they did. 3D printers are some of the most successful and overfunded projects on Kickstarter. Is anyone here waiting for a Kickstarter 3D printer? Good luck, I hope so. This generates a lot of hype. 3D printing is at the peak at the Gartner hype cycle, right at the peak of inflated expectations. We're about to slip into trough of disillusionment soon, but that hasn't stopped Arduino, Autodesk, Dremel, and Home Depot from getting into this field. There's significant pressure to sell you a 3D printer. Just like 50 years ago when we had the radar range, now you all have a microwave. These companies want to sell you a 3D printer, but there needs to be a reason for it. Of course, you can print anything, though. That's the great thing. There are machines that print in plastic and resin. Those are the home machines. But there are professional machines that print in metal, ceramics, glass, sugar, or even wood, as you see up in this picture here. It's a wood vase. It's very nice. Figure out what my next slide is. Oh, yes. What do you print? That's a big problem. What do you print when you get a 3D printer? When I was tasked with this, I designed and built a dovetail joint. A 3D systems reviewer got bored of his 3D printer because he ran out of things to print. There's a lot of garbage out there, a lot of useless junk. Kipple, self-replicating junk. We're trying to avoid Kipple. In order for the 3D printer to have a place in your home, you need a compelling object to print. I think this object that I'm looking for uses something I call efficient design. So an efficient design utilizes the things that make 3D printers really effective. There are some characteristics that only 3D printers can do. I'm ahead of myself. So this is a complex object that only a 3D printer can make. And this is something that complexity is free when we talk about 3D printing. So this object, easy to print, but very hard to produce in any other way. Complexity is free. Complexity really needs to drive the design. The objects are printed as needed, so they can be designed to fit the user's needs. Complex CAD software is really going to drive this field. It's very decorative here, but it can be very useful. And of course, utility. The objects you print need to be useful, hopefully more useful than a handcuff key on a dog. There will always be tchotchkes, but there needs to be a role that a 3D printer fills in your life for it to have a place on your shelf. And it will eventually. You have a microwave. This is the best example of efficient design I could find. It's customized to match the user. It's complex, in this case for decoration. It's, of course, useful. This is efficient design for 3D printing. This is beautiful. This is the future. So please, help me make something that needs to be 3D printed. Help me design the object that wants to be 3D printed. There are thousands of makers in this city. You're all amazing. Gartner says compelling consumer application will be here by 2016. That's plenty of time to make stuff. Making is getting easier than ever, but design is still hard. So we need new CAD tools. These cups in here were designed in a web browser and printed on a professional machine in a kiln. It's an efficient design. Can't make it at home quite yet, but this is the kind of thing that needs to be built to meet that need at the home. 3D scanning is very easy. You can use a Kinect, an iPad, a DSLR to get that 3D data, and that's where we're going to drive the customization of this design software. Hi, Kyle. I was hoping to come here with a solution. The best I come up with this. I can tell you as a 3D printing professional, one of the most satisfying things you can do is to destroy a 3D print. Disposable prints like this are very stress relieving. Cost about a penny. Philadelphia is amazing. We can make awesome things. We can make things awesome. Please visit Hive 76 or NextFab and let's design the future. Thank you, everyone.